Hello guys, welcome back to Backlakes, Bushcraft, and Outdoors. I'm your host, Big Shen. Today we're gonna set up a little camp, make a little brew, have a little talk, see where it goes from there. Hang tight and let me set up camp, flip the cameras around and get situated, and get this party started. Hang tight. Oh, before that, grab yourself a beverage of your choice, then sit back and relax, and we'll see where this goes. All right, hang tight. want to give a shout out to my one of my good friends now. He's stationed over in Afghanistan, and he's one of my subscribers. And he actually sent me this flag from Afghanistan. Asked me if I would fly it in one of my videos. So I wrote back to him and told him I'd fly it in every one of my videos for all the servicemen and women out there protecting our great nation. So his name is Lieutenant Dan, and I thought it was a joke at first, from Forrest Gump, but that's his actual name. I actually emailed him, and we sat and talked for a while, and that's his actual name. Sent me a picture and everything with his name tag on it, dog tags. And he was stationed, he's stationed there now, and he actually sent me this flag. And I think it's the coolest thing ever. So that flag there has been from Afghanistan all the way back here to New Jersey. And it's pretty cool in my book. So for you, Lieutenant Dan, your whole battalion and everything, I hope you all come home safe. We're thinking about you here back in the States. And thank you for protecting this great nation of ours. And that goes for all the servicemen and women out there, not just Lieutenant Dan, but for all our armed forces and everything. I just thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to share that with you guys. And I also got a new pipe. My good buddy Josh, out of, I think he's up in Connecticut. Made me this awesome pipe from an idea. We were just floating around, and he goes by the name of Dragon Briars, but his name's Joshua. And I think this is just the coolest thing ever. It's an actual like tree stump with some deer antler and emerald stem. Works out pretty good. I actually like it. Actually love it. So big shout out to him too. Absolutely love this thing. There you go. Life is good in smoky heaven. Bad boys are looking good. Got a little hot where the handle is. Y'all see that? That's looking yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Get them going here. Let's take them off, let them simmer down a second. Let's get the coffee going. It's gonna take a little bit. Alright, it's ready. Your little barbecue sauce. Let's see here. This is Jack Daniel's number 7 sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. Another one of my favorites. Let's try it. It does not get any better than that. And the cheese is a jalapeno, sharp. Good. Has a nice bite to it. There we go. Now we're talking. Can't forget the good water. There it is. Skull. That's what I'm talking about. Life is now good as we know it. Peaceful out here. It's a good day. Cloudy, but a good day. So I've been sitting here pondering, actually for the last couple of days. And I got a lot of questions asked to me. And one of the questions was, am I still losing weight? Yes, I'm still losing weight. I'm actually down to 183, I believe it is. I was just at the doctor's a couple weeks ago. I don't weigh myself like I used to in the beginning, so I every once in a while when I take my pop to, because he has dialysis 3 times a week, I step on their scale and see how much I weigh. What was some of the other questions that were asked of me? There were some other questions, but I have to do another video to answer those questions. So after this video, I'll make a bunch of little videos, and I'll explain here why. Some people were asking me about my knife. Not a big deal. I'm gonna make a little video on that, and then I see a lot of YouTubers, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody. This is just my own personal thoughts. I'm watching a lot of YouTubers going in a direction to see how much gear they can pack with them, the best gear to take with them. Gear reviews, pack outs, loadouts, all blah 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 blah. And I see it going in a direction that is getting away from the actual bushcrafting aspect of it. And not all YouTubers are doing it, just there's probably a handful, but like I said, I'm not mentioning any names, I'm not pointing the fingers at anybody. It just seems like nowadays, it seems like they're, what's the best equipment out there to use, you know, and that's not what bushcrafting's about. Bushcrafting's about using what you have on you at the time that you're out in the middle of the woods. Need be a survival situation, or having a good day, having a good hike, a camping trip, an overnight, or whatever. So I'm actually going to start a series called Back to Basics, and I hope you all stay around for it, because it's pretty exciting the way we were writing it out and everything. And it'll be a bunch of short little videos instead of like one big long video. And so that's in the works. After this trip here, after this video here, I'm planning a overnighter for a couple days. Oh, and I was also challenged to a 72-hour survival survival situation, and I will get, when I get ready to do it, I'll lay everything out so you guys will know what the scenario was and everything about that. But I'm going to survive out here in the woods for 72 hours, carrying the most minimalist gear and using exactly what I can find out here to survive and everything. And so that should be coming up soon. Very excited about that project. Let's see, what else do we got coming up? Yeah, it's the middle of February. Well, almost the end of February. And we had the crappiest winter ever. I shouldn't say that. We actually had no snow, which is totally unheard of. The temperatures have been warm one day, cold the next day, warm 2 or 3 days, and then cold for a week or so, and a lot of rain, and no snow, no nothing. So this winter wasn't really a winter for us anyway. But I mean, I've seen all over the country, everybody else has got snow, and kind of jealous because I got this big ass snowblower that I made my kid sister drag back from Ohio, and that was about 2 years ago, and I still haven't been able to use it and everything. I've been dying to use that damn thing, you know. But anyway, long story short, we've had the mildest winter ever, I think, in the history that I've ever known, and I've been here many years. Really weird. You know, I'm all for global warming, you know, bring on fossil fuels. Everything like that, you know, but crazy winter. Oh, earlier, you guys didn't see, I don't know if you could see, there's a tree right back over here. I was batoning wood over there, and right over here, a squirrel came up and was climbing up the tree, and he was like checking me out or whatever, and he fell out of the tree, and I couldn't stop laughing for the life of me and everything. I thought he hurt himself, actually. But he got up and shook it off and everything. It was just funny, and I didn't have the camera rolling at the time because it was facing that way, you know, while I was batoning wood. So if you look back and see the part where I look up, that was that, and I started laughing because it was just, oh my God, it was freaking hilarious and everything. Also want to mention the coffee is delicious. The little Snookies were totally awesome and everything. Just keeping it a little warm. Skull. I'm actually having a good time out here with y'all. But yeah, I want to get back to basics. And like I said, it's just me. It's not against anybody personally or anything like that. It's just, like I said, I see bushcrafting taking a different turn, and it's not what it's about, you know. Shoot, when I first started doing this stuff, I started with a butter knife, and kids I grew up around here told me that you needed a knife, so I was about 7 or 8 years old at the time, and my dad was on a trip, and I remember telling my mom I need a knife, because all the kids told me I need a knife around here. And if any of y'all knew my mom, she was a hillbilly from down south. You know what? I take that back. She really wasn't a hillbilly. She was a farm girl, actually, from down in Georgia. In fact, believe it or not, and this is a true story, my mom actually taught me a lot about being out in the woods and stuff. She was actually one of my big influences of coming out here. But I'll tell you this quick, funny little story. So everybody said I had to have a knife when I moved out here. So if any of you all that are watching this that are friends with me, and I know you are, and you know my mom, everybody knew my mom had a lot of knives and axes, and we called her hillbilly. That's what she was. Didn't believe in wearing shoes. Couldn't stand wearing shoes. You could never keep a pair of shoes on her. She'd go to work, come home, them shoes be off. In fact, there was times she drove home barefooted. My mom did not like shoes, and she'd walk out here in these woods with no shoes on. Except for summertime, because she was afraid of snakes. That one never got, I never understood that. But I'm afraid of snakes too, so. Fun fact. So, so I remember going home to asking my mom. I said, "Mom, I need a knife." She asked me, "What do you need a knife for?" I said, "I don't know, but all the boys and girls around here told me I need a knife." She goes, "Well, are they mad at you?" I said, "No, they ain't mad at me, but they said if I want to live out here, I'm gonna need a knife. So she said, well, what kind of knife do you need? I'm like, I don't know. I need a knife. You know, gotta whittle wood. Whittle wood. She says, all right. So I remember she said, we'll talk to your dad when he gets back off this trip. All right. Well, back then I was impatient. So I went out with my friends. They said, you got a knife? And I said, no. I said, let me run back to the house. I'll go get one. If anybody knows anything about the 1970s and Tupperware came out with a set of paring knives. I think there was like 10 of them in the pack or whatever. And there was like a blue one, a yellow one, a red one, a brown one, a white one. There was all kinds of colors, but it was like a set of them. And they were all paring knives. Same exact blade, everything, but there was a set of them. So I said, well, they're kind of sharp. Let me grab one of them and I'll be set, right? So I grab one, right? So my mom had a slew of knives, kitchen cutlery knives, a ton of them, from old hickories to you name it, she had it. So I went out and everybody was laughing at me because I had this paring knife and I was whittling with this paring knife. So this older teenager, I'm not going to mention his name, but when I start talking about him, people are going to know who he is. He took me off to the side and he said, look, he said, you might want to get a different knife than what you got. He said, but I'll show you something. And it stuck with me for the rest of my life. He explained to me that knife is a tool. And it's an extension of yourself. And at that time, Caddyshack was kind of big and everything, and that was like a big saying around here. You know, be the ball, feel the ball, be the ball, whatever. So he would say, be the knife. You know, let the knife do its thing. So if you learned how to use the knife, it doesn't matter what kind of knife you have. Being a paring knife, a butter knife, a $700 knife, you know, one of my knives, whatever. You can do whatever it is that's possible. And that always stuck with me. And so I was learning how to use a knife through him. And I really didn't learn none except how to whittle stick and make feather sticks, because that was pretty big back then. And that's why you guys see me, I can whittle out feather sticks. That's all I did when I was a kid. And so here's where the story gets funny, right? So back then, all your parents would have to do, because we didn't have cell phones and all that, all they would have to do is go out on the porch or look out the window and yell your name. And I, to this day, still don't know how it worked. Like, you could be 3 or 4 blocks away. You heard your mom, you knew it was time to go home. And I know there's people out there watching this that knows what the hell I'm talking about. So anyway, I heard my mom at the top of her lungs. And my mom had 3 voices. There was, get home now, and when you get home, all hell's gonna break loose. Well, guess what voice I heard? So anyway, I'm like, oh crap, here we go. So I grabbed my stuff, and actually I was running across this lake right here, right over there. Because I heard her, she was yelling out the front, but I heard her, and I come running across that lake over there. And I got home, so I said, "Yes, Mama, what's up?" She looked at me, said, "Where's my knife?" And me, like an idiot, I'm like, "What knife?" You know, and she said, "My Tupperware knife, my paring knife." That's what she called them, paring knife. She didn't call them Tupperware. She said, "Paring knife." I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You took my paring knife." I said, "Mama, how'd you know I took one of your paring knives?" My mama's exact words was, "My favorite color is blue. And out of all the knives that you took my blue one." And I, this day I'll never forget my mom yelling at me. Out of all the knives I took, I had to take her blue one. And that was her actually favorite paring knife, that she would slice apples or potatoes, you know, peeled potatoes. Well, so she made me give me that knife back, and then she went in the back room and she came back and she came out with a it was a pocket knife. I still got it. My next video I'll show it to y'all. In fact, I think it was an old Boy Scout knife, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if it was a Boy Scout knife or an old timer. I remember it had a can opener, a knife. I think it had a screwdriver too on it, a flathead screwdriver bit. But that was my actual first knife. So then when my dad got home, they actually took me out and got me another camping knife. I can't remember what that one was, but that's where it all started. Started with a paring knife. Good times. So getting back to the snake thing, not too far from here, actually right over there, believe it or not, me and my friend, we cut school one day. I'll probably catch hell for this one. We cut school. It was that time of life. So anyway, we cut school and we was hanging out right back over there. And my best friend, we were sitting there, and we had a little campfire going. And I remember we smuggled a bottle of Sambuca. Whew. And it was a little bottle, wasn't a big bottle, it was a little bottle. I guess a pint, whatever. So we drank this Sambuca. Gives me quivers just thinking about it. But we drank this bottle of Sambuca, and we were laying down over there, looking up in the trees and sky and stuff, just enjoying ourselves. We had a good buzz on. And my buddy goes, and he knew I was scared of snakes too, and everything, and so he goes, "Wouldn't it be wild if a snake just came out of the tree and just landed on you right now?" And I said, "No." And about that time, and I kid you not, a black snake actually fell out of a tree and landed across his stomach, and he screamed louder than I did. And I'll never forget that. I don't know who ran faster, me and him, but we both had tears in our eyes. Me from laughing. But him, it actually scared him. So there is another fun fact about Backlakes here. Well, I think this is all for now. I'm gonna pack up here and head on back. It's getting late. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. Much appreciated. Again, I'd like to thank the Lieutenant Dan for the awesome flag. I want to thank the men and women of the armed services around this world, protecting our great nation. Thank you, as always. Much respect. I want to thank our first responders. Much respect. And like I said, I'll have some short videos coming up on everything that we talked about earlier and everything. So that's all for now. Goodbye, and enjoy your week.